What's going on, guys? Just gonna do a quick halftime show. Just gonna move around a little bit, just kind of show you where we're at. But right now, although we popped up a little bit today, we haven't really gone in any particular direction. But I did want to show you something that I've been finding to be a very interesting coincidence the last 3 days. So if you take a look, this was yesterday, and we started to drop between 12:30 and 1:30, okay? So keep this in mind. We dropped between 12:30 and 1:30 yesterday. On Friday, we dropped between 12:30 and 1:30. And on Thursday, we also dropped between 12:30 and 1:30. So 3 days in a row, the market has dropped between 12:30 and 1:30. So now going back, this is us today. Let me get rid of this line. But this is where we are. So I'm seeing if we come back down to 638, then and get below that, or any place under, yeah, under 638, if we can get below that on a break between, again, 12:30 right now and about an hour from now, 1:30, then we can see the market start to go. But I've had a hard time breaking the 642 area, but again, just going very, very sideways today. One thing I also want to show you guys for the people that come every day, we've been talking about silver every day. And the one thing that I was really certain about was that silver was going to eventually push back up. And here's your push happening right now, right? So we had talked about this every day, but talking about this in my groups every day, that silver and gold were a little bit not too low. It's just that they came down to a very, very good support area, and we had very good supporting wicks. What's a supporting wick? You could see a wick on the bottom, right? You could see the wick coming up for the day, and now we are starting to move up. So next level is going to be this little line right there, and then the 20 moving average with this little sell block right there. So I have all the big orders on my screen, as you could see. If you guys want to get this on your charts, let me know. I can help you with that. But it's really easy to understand when you see price. For example, watch this. See on a weekly time chart, this is silver, okay? Check this out. When price moves above this weekly zone right here of buying power, okay? You could see that there was no big institutional buying afterwards as we went up. This was all hype. But then we came back down eventually to what? This green support block again of green buying. So I want you guys to keep that in mind for 1 second, okay? Because watch this. Now I'm going to go back to SPY, the S&P 500. Same exact situation, right? We went through this last big zone of buying pressure here. And now as we come back down to it, it would be somewhere around here. Also, it's the first week below the weekly 50 moving average for SPY. So if there is no multinational agreement for peace, then we're going to end up going back down to this level. And that's okay because, again, every midterm election year, there's an average of about a 15% drawdown from the top. So this is what I'm referring to. Every midterm election cycle, you're going to see that there's an average drawdown. You can't see it on the bottom here. Probably you guys can't see it, but the average is a 15% drawdown on a midterm election year. But then the average 1 year later after that is then a swing of 36% to the upside, right? So if we go back to the chart, you're going to see that if we do go back to this area down here, that's going to be about a 13% drop. So that pretty much corresponds to what we've seen every midterm election cycle. Okay. So just thought that that was an interesting thing. So now we start to make a list of all of the stocks that we have. So I made a list in my group and I put it on Instagram. But I will name some of them here for you that are pretty obvious. Microsoft, Meta, Netflix, um, Amazon. These are all ones to buy the bottom. Eli Lilly. Let me just take a look at my other list real quick, just so I get most of them for you guys. Okay. Google, GE Vernova, Rocket Lab, SHLD, which has all of the defense companies in it, NBIS for data centers, Hood and SoFi. And I'll move this over so you guys can see it a bit better. Okay, SoFi. Chevron, I still think it's going to go up the entire year. Intel. And Citibank. What do you guys think of this list so far? Microsoft, Meta, Netflix, Amazon, Lilly, Google, GE Vernova, Rocket Lab, Shield, NBIS, Robinhood, SoFi, Chevron, Intel, and Citigroup. So I've covered basically everything here, but I wanted to put them all as growth stocks. You could also put a growth fund in there like SCHG, which is basically all of the growth stocks. So you would have all of them represented in one fund, if anything. But does anyone disagree with any of these? Microsoft, Meta, Netflix, Amazon, Lilly, Google, GE Vernova, Rocket Lab, Shield, NBIS, Hood, SoFi, Chevron, Intel, Citigroup, and then uh, SCHG for just a general growth fund. So those are the ones that, you know, I think are going to be the best ones to buy in this dip. Unless you guys have another idea. Is there any of these that I'm just completely missing right now? Because you could also put in something like Costco, just, or Target or Walmart. But I think this is a pretty good overall portfolio list to move forward into 2026. Yeah, the only reason I don't have Apple and I don't have Nvidia is because I just personally have so much of it that, you know. But yeah, I mean, you could also have Apple and Nvidia. That's why I also put SCHG because most of this fund is Apple and Nvidia, but you still get all the rest of the big names. I like Netflix the most right now, though, and probably Microsoft and Meta. I think those three are going to come back probably the fastest, and Google too. So over the next year or so, I think all of these are going to, I think so every industry here is pretty much covered. So it's pretty balanced, but obviously tilted towards growth. So this is a bit aggressive, but I'm not doing any double leveraged. You could do METU, right? That's meta double leveraged. You probably don't want the list to be too big, focus on the best few. Yeah, look, I'm just giving a generalist, as just to give you guys some ideas. Um, you know, Even if you did all of them, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So let's say you take like 15 of these, right? You could do 1/15 of your money into each one of them and just keep it like that. And if one of them goes down, you could cost average down. But this is just an idea of some of the ones that I'm really looking at to start scaling into over the next few weeks or so. Oh, the market is starting to pump pretty hard right now. What is going on? Oh, look at that, guys. We are starting to move. Look at this move right here. Did something just happen in the last like few minutes? Anybody know? Wow, look at this. We just broke out. We're really starting to move up real quick. Wow, that's wild. You guys know what just happened? Because we are moving up extremely fast. Oh man, look at that. Let's check oil real quick because if we're moving up this fast, oil's still moving up. We're at 104 now. Wow. So that's really interesting. Usually it's the other way, but crude oil is still moving higher, but the S&P 500 is also moving higher. It should be the other way around. But we're starting to break out of this. Wow, look at that. Now we're moving real quick. So this is a breakout right here. Look at this. This is a big, big break for today. I'm telling you, every day between 12:30 and 1 o'clock now, there's this big break that happens. Look at this go. We're really pushing. And you know what? Let me look at the GXE walls real quick. I don't want to make this too complicated, but this is interesting. Okay, so we're now pushing over these call walls right here. If we get over 642 or 643, we're going to go all the way to 645. You could see it right here. So, oh, we're already at 648. Wow. It could be a bull trap. Yeah, but it broke this range so quickly. You know what I mean? Like we really did break this range rather quickly, and now we're starting to pump up. I wish I had my account open like on the screen right now. I would have tried to play this breakout real fast as a little scalp play, but damn, I didn't know that was gonna happen while I was live. I look for these breaks either above or below all day sometimes. Not all day, but I've just been noticing that, damn, look at this thing. It just keeps going. What is going on here? We're almost back to 650. This is going to keep going up. Look at this candle, guys. What is going on here? Does anybody know what's going on? Something just happened. There's had to be some news that just came out. There had to be some news that just came out. Does anybody know? Look at that. Let me check real quick. Uh, wow. This is unbelievable. Look at this break today. Anybody know? Anybody we could check to see why this is happening right now. Because something just happened, literally like 8 minutes ago. Something just happened here. So does anybody know why we're pushing up so fast right now? Let's go over. Let's check. I'm not going to go here right now. Let's just go back to Google. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out what just happened right here because this is probably something newsworthy that just happened. So 1 hour ago, yeah, but this was 10 minutes ago. You know what I mean? And like so, an hour goes over here. So I'm trying to figure out, is this just a regular break up to the upside? Let's see how far we would go up. We couldn't break this sell level here though. We also couldn't break the 200 moving average, but we are creating some new buy pressure right here. Hold on a second. Let me check the unusual options flow. We did have a block of 6.2 million dollars of SPY calls that were being bought for tomorrow for one. But then we had another, yeah. No, this is the one that's pretty unusual right here. These were selling calls. This was buying calls. So this just happened at 12:45. What time is it now? 12:46. That's probably what this was. You could see all that volume that came in there. I want to see what happens here. If we get above this 200 moving average, then we're going to keep going. That's quite interesting. But Iran has always wanted to come to the peace table. You think so? Iran just said that? I don't know. I can't trust any. It's like I've been working as a financial advisor and I have an investment group now, and I've been doing this for like 14 years, and I've never seen a market that didn't trust the its own headlines anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's unless unless national all these countries come together and make a decision, it's I don't think, much is going to happen. This is a huge breakout though. Um I just want to show you guys something though. Do you guys remember this last year? Let me show you. Do you guys remember this last year? This day right here. This was April 9th of 2025. Does anybody remember this? The market went up 10.5%, right? So the market goes up 10.5% in one day. This was a pretty easy day to do anything, just buying Apple calls and SPY calls all day long. It was extremely easy. I think if we get an announcement that, there's a multinational agreement of some sort where China's involved, Iran is involved, Russia's involved, Egypt and Turkey, and, everybody's happy of some degree, we're going to get another big candle like this. It's actually the same timing as what happened last year, late March into early April. And then we started to just go straight up after that. So now let's go back. Now here we are over here. So I still think we're going to make these loops all the way down. You know what I mean? So just to show you. Also, if you guys have any questions, you could put it here, you could DM me. You're never going to get an auto response from me. I'll always just answer your questions just straight up. See? And now maybe something like this, right? Anybody else think something similar? But once U.S. intervenes in the Middle East, it lingers for a little while. Yeah, although we're intervening, but there's a timetable on it. There's only so long a president can be can act with military before it has to end, or you go to Congress, or some other resolution comes out. But I'm kind of thinking it's going to do another big loop and then come back down. I wouldn't be surprised if we go back down the next day. So, because all of these are bull traps. Here's a bull trap. Here's one. Here's one. This could also be one. But in any case, I think over the next 2 weeks, scaling in to this list would be pretty good. So if you weren't here, my list is Microsoft, Meta, Netflix, Amazon, Lilly, Google, GE Vernova, Rocket Lab, Shield, NBIS, Hood, SoFi, Chevron, Intel, Citigroup, SCHG, which is a growth fund of all of the growth stocks, and then Costco. So, I think these stocks in general, are my favorite to hold for the next like 18 months. So, would you buy silver and gold as of today? Yeah, I mean, I already did. I just went over that, but I'll go back to silver again. So I already bought silver today. I was doing that with my group this morning, buying silver. But if you guys remember, every single live stream I've had the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about this silver setup right here, this double bottom formation. Also, the COT reports that there's so many bigger banks and institutions buying gold and silver at this area and now at this area. So silver, we went straight up. So last week I bought some silver contracts for options. I bought another one today. And just to show you guys something for silver, okay, let me just refresh this. But for silver, if you get an $80 strike contract, it's only $260, okay? And so if we go up 10%, that would be about 95 or 100% profit. So that would be about $250 profit off of $260 that you put down. And you could take it out at any point too. You're not locked into anything. But yeah, this is flying right now, silver as well. Let's see if we break these recent highs over here. Also, something else to note is that USO for oil also broke. Oh, wow. Oil went down a lot recently just from the market and silver and gold going up. But right here, let me show you guys something. I showed you this last week as well. This 2018 resistance line for oil has been here since 2018 for the last 6 years. Sorry, 8 years. Yeah, 2018 was 8 years ago. So away. But now we're coming right back up again. So very volatile. Everything is sort of all over the place right now. Yeah, nothing good happens under the 50-day moving average. It's funny. But I'm looking to buy more oil puts for October and December because oil will go back down, and that's an easy play to make money on. You'll get like a whole year for oil to go back down again. Look how much this popped out of this resistance, and now we have all this time for it to come back down again. And it will. Oil's never just stayed up here. It can't just stay up here. Eventually, it will drop. And so that's going to be one of the easier uh, plays of the year. But I think, again, just at this point, being in cash and moving into these stocks, again, Microsoft, Meta, Netflix, Amazon, Lilly, Google, GE Vernova, Rocket Lab, Shield, NBIS, Hood, SoFi, Chevron, Intel, Citi. SCHG is a growth fund, and then Costco, just for good measure. So if you guys want to copy this list, you can definitely do so. But yeah, I also put it in my Instagram story if you want to see it there. But back to SPY, this breakout. Here is the breakout we were watching about 10 minutes ago. Now we're having trouble breaking the next level over here. So this was a big, a big breakout from the opening range this morning. This was today. So from here, where are we going to go? But in my opinion, we're going to probably, this is probably a bull trap. And then we're going to just go right back down again tomorrow. Because that's what the theme has been. These are all loops. See the loops? Looping down, looping down, looping down, looping down. This will be another loop down. So, yeah. Uh, also, I go over this with my premium group every day. I have morning meetings with them. I have afternoon beginners groups. I have office hours. I have nightly strategy sessions that I go over, and I go a lot slower than this because this is a live stream for a quick, rundown through everything. But um, everyone in my group eventually gets fluent with reading charts and trading stocks and options and crypto. Um, so and everybody gets my phone number. You can reach out to me at any time that you want. It's only $80 a month, 80. It's usually 99, but so don't go to my website to buy it. Just message me and I'll send you the $80 link instead. And it's month to month. So if you really don't like it, I guess you could just cancel it for the next month. But 94% of people that get it for 1 month always stay for about 2 or 3 months. So gold's looking pretty good here too. Also, I do free in-person groups as well. So the next one is this Thursday. I always do them in New York or South Florida. So if you're in either of those areas, you could come out and see me and see what we're looking at. Do you place more value on horizontal resistances than diagonal resistances as flags? I do both. I don't think there's any difference. A resistance is a support, and a resistance is, it doesn't matter if it's horizontal or not, as long as it's stable. Like this break right here, it was pretty easy to know that after the second candle we were going to go lower, especially after this horizontal break. So you use them in conjunction with other things. Also, my indicators work really well, right? This was a lower high from here. We went from green to blue to pink on the way down. So below this 50 moving average, um, you know, gold was definitely going to move lower. You could see it right here. And then we got red volume coming in as well recently. So when all three hit, there's a break, the momentum, and the volume, and you get these sell blocks coming in. Definitely going to go down. It's the same thing going back up. It's just this is the opposite, and you would get green blocks going back up. So it's not that hard to, you just need to kind of just check off a few boxes, and then it gives you a lot more clarity of what's going on. But if you're interested in getting these on your chart, you could just, message me and I'll help you with that. Wow, some of these stocks are really coming back today now, but I don't think it's going to be very um, long-lived, right? So again, going back to SPY, and again, if you want to copy down my list or see what's on my list, it's right here: Microsoft, Meta, Netflix, Amazon, Lilly, Google, GE Vernova, Rocket Lab, Shield, NBIS, Hood, SoFi, Chevron, Intel, Citigroup, SEHG for a growth fund, and then Costco. So that's pretty much my list that I think will do the best during this discounted time right now. I mean, we're all extremely lucky to have a time where the market's corrected, it's kind of like free money at this point. I don't know how else to look at it. But right now, we did have a break today above we did break above our opening range here, so that's pretty interesting. This is also a break right here. But now, this 200 moving average is really going to see whether we get above this or not. But 80 to 90% of the time, if we break above opening range, we're going to go up for the rest of the day, or if we break down, we're going to go down the rest of the day. So we'll see. Anyone have any questions or anything else? Just another reminder, this Thursday, I'm going to be live in New York. That's free. You can just come and see me. I have a group that I'm going to do for about 2 to 3 hours. I do that every month. I've done that every month for the last 10 years. And then I also am going to be in Florida the 5th through the 10th. I have a group. I'm going to be speaking at an options event in Palm Beach on the 8th, and then I have a meetup for anybody who wants to show up on the 9th in Fort Lauderdale. So I try to spend some time in New York and Florida to do the events, which again are free. I don't charge for those. You could just come in. You can just come in. Just see, just ask questions or just hang out. I don't know. But I think like with so many things online now, I kind of like the in-person stuff sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, do any of you guys kind of feel that like the online stuff is a little overplayed after a while? Like, you kind of would want some sort of in-person thing, and it doesn't cost you anything. It's a free thing, Or maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. People seem to really like the online stuff, but most of my group is online. We do Zoom calls every day. I'm always the one on teaching it throughout the day. But it seems like this could be another bounce back down. All of these are just loops, looping down and looping down. Loop, 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 another loop, another loop, another loop, another loop. Probably going to have another loop right here. Okay. Uh, So, no, you guys don't have any other questions? That's going to probably be it for me. Again, if you want to message me anything, it's never going to be an auto response. I'll always answer your questions, whatever they are. People that talk to me, you guys know that. Um, so anything that you guys, are questioning or anything you guys are thinking about, you can always reach out to me. Um, I've been working in New York finance since 2012. Um, been a financial advisor since then. So if you guys have any questions or anything at all, you can always reach out to me. I'll help you as best as I can. And if any of you are in the New York area, I'll see you this Thursday, but I'll also see all of you every week between 12 and 1 o'clock for the market halftime show. All right, guys, have a good rest of your day, and I hope to speak to you guys and see you guys soon. All right, take care. Bye bye.